Okay, cool. It is May 7th, and the first Monday in May, which means that following this team call is going to be the Campbell team call. So the first Monday of every month, Wendy Campbell does a Campbell team-wide team call, and tonight the speakers are Guy and Cheryl Debut, and Cheryl is a brand new national marketing director, and they have a really awesome story. So you're definitely going to want to tune into that. And if you can't listen live for whatever reason, that call is always recorded, so you can access it after the fact by dialing the number for the playback, which is on the flyer, or also it will be uploaded to campbellteam.net, so you can get it from there. Hey, Jess. All right, cool. Okay, so any celebrations in the last week? Anything we can celebrate? Anybody do anything that was brave? Get out their comfort zone? Invite someone to the team? Have any promotions? Susanna, you did?
So I've invited 4 people to the team this week.
Hey. Nice
That doesn't mean they're there, but the seeds are planted, right?
Awesome. And who else? Des, did you say you had something to celebrate?
Oh, sorry. No, I just said yay.
Oh,
but
okay.
Amy got a lot of customers. She's not on yet, but Amy Miki got a lot of customers. And I'm still so proud of Kelly and Andrea because they're just still excited, and I love it. It's so exciting for me.
Oh, I know. It does make everything so much more fun, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Well, that's really what I am going to do some show you some new stuff that we have. But first, I really do want to hear from Jessica and Kelly and Andrea, who some of us call Laundria.
We found a nest with a robin egg in it.
Oh, yeah, in the tree?
Okay, sorry. So you'll just have to unmute yourself when you're ready to talk, just so that we don't have background noise. But anyway, so I'm going to let Jess kind of introduce the situation, what happened. But I'm so proud of her because she really went out on a limb and did such an awesome job of promoting events, even at the last minute. So Jess, why don't you go ahead and set the stage, and then Andrea and Kelly can kind of share from their perspective, okay?
Okay, sounds good. So it wasn't really premeditated, honestly. It was just like I was excited that I was going to conference, and I really genuinely love these 2 ladies a lot. So I think it just naturally happens. And they were people that I wanted to do more life with. And those are the people typically that we want to share Juice Plus with, right? So anyway, I was just naturally always talking to Andrea all the time anyways. And she was like, nope, I'm not going to go. I was like, okay, but this is why I think you should. And this is why I think it's so difficult because a lot of times what they'll say, what I even said is, do me a favor and bring as much of it back as you can. Take all the notes, take videos, do everything that you can to bring it back. And it's impossible to do that. It really, really is, because it's about the experience in a lot of ways. And also, I just really think that to feel the community of our team and of our company, and for me, prayer breakfast and like all these other things is so important. So I really wanted these ladies to feel that and get that. So that's what I shared with her. And I also said that, I genuinely felt this way. I said, I'm just going to pray that, that God give you everything that you need through my notes and through my video and stuff like that. As much as I'm sitting here saying I don't believe it's possible, I'm going to believe that God will have that for you if you truly can't go and can't make it happen. And also for Andrea, I shared that I know her husband. I don't know her husband really well, but I've heard his heart at one of our events, and it was enough to make me want to cry, because he wants and needs more time with his kids. And of course, that's something that I'm like, oh my gosh, we could help you do that, And I hear about how much time they have away from their kids, and it's just sad. And it's so exciting what they're doing for the community, and how an amazing of a business, because I've been there before, how amazing of a business they have. But at the same time, it's sad that they don't have this residual income joy that I have. And so I wanted to share that with her. And I was like, listen, if there's anybody on my team that I really want to come right now, it's you. And then I visited Kelly. I love Kelly so much. She's a dear friend of mine and has been for a while. But you know, I just went to her house as a friend to just share life with. Sorry, this hat's driving me crazy, y'all. Like, you can't see my eye, and then it's too high. Okay. So with Kelly, I just went to her house. It was like a week before conference or something like that, and just did life with her. And then towards the end, we got on the topic of conference, and I was like, you could still make it. Like, it's still totally possible. And so we started talking about the details, and she's like, oh yeah, my so-and-so relative lives in Goodyear, so really close, and maybe I can make that happen. And then it was getting closer to, just like Andrea, and she's like, yeah, I just don't think I can make it. And these are all the different hurdles that are coming up. And I don't know, I think that Carmen and April have helped me so much to get to conference with a lot of things that I thought was absolutely impossible to make it, that I think I just use those things that make sense to me, that were shared with me, and I'm sharing them with other people. So one of the biggest ones is the struggle of the financial aspect. That's always been my struggle. And is to think about how much money I'm going to spend, because I'm a spender. So I'm like, I'm going to spend so much money, and especially when it's on the other side, you know, and it's East Coast. So Carmen's just so stinking genius. She's like, so how many trios do we need to share to get you your ticket? And I'm like, you're ridiculous, because it's so common sense, but I don't think of it that way. And you know, other people, it's their kids, and I'm like, I'll help you find a babysitter. Like, let's figure this out. It's just, I mean, their situations, Kelly and Andrea both have 3 kids, hard situations to get away from, in my opinion. And Kelly's going to share, and Andrea's going to share a little bit more about how kind of overwhelming that felt at first to imagine it, and impossible almost, in a sense. But we just kept trying to work through every little barrier and say, okay, this is what we can put in place. This is what we can do, you know. And I'm just so glad that they came. And now you're going to get to hear them share, you know, kind of the before and after, like Carmen said. Okay, I'll mute myself now.
All right, who wants to go first? How about Andrea? How about you go first?
Okay. Hi.
Hey.
Hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I always try to remember when I talk to Jessica on whatever, we always talk forever. And lately I have to keep notes trying to remember what I'm going to respond to. Because my brain doesn't work like it used to. Need more omegas. So why did I say yes? I was definitely not coming. No way. I could make it. I mean, she brought it up when I first signed up in December. And I'm like, yeah, sure, that won't happen, in the back of my mind. So anyway, so I was really not planning on that. I thought, well, maybe. But then it just, 3 little ones under 5 years under, just didn't think it was going to happen. And my husband worked from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night. So, and he's constantly on the floor. So I just didn't think it was going to happen. So I was like, I brought it to him, and I was afraid to, because I didn't think he would even say yes at all. And he says, well, you know, why don't we, you know, work towards something, and maybe we can try to make, you know, have it. He really meant what he tells me later. I meant next time is what he said. But I was taking it as, okay, let's do this right now. So that was sort of a miscommunication. But then I said, okay, babysitter, this, that. So he had anyway, the reason I changed my mind is I literally called her on Voxer, and I said, no, I'm not coming. I can't, it's just not going to happen. So take notes. And I've been to other conferences for other things, and I understand the experience. And so, but you totally forget. So she just talked from the heart, and she knows me a little bit, and she knows what gets to me. I don't know. She just talked from the heart. And so she was led to tell me what she was supposed to tell me, because I was like, and I literally called her back, and I said, oh my gosh, okay, let me just call it. Let me ask one more time, and then we'll see what happens. And that was literally 2 weeks out, 1 week, 2 weeks out. So I said, okay, it's going to happen. Da, da, da. So I went, and then it was amazing. Obviously, I don't think I should have carried like 4 boxes of Kleenex, because that's all I did is cry the whole time pretty much. And then we had a lot of fun too, but it wasn't bad cries, you know. I'm just a crier, I guess. I know this about myself now. Jessica would be randomly across the room. She'd be like, Sarah, what's it? Stop looking at me, I'm crying. But anyway, all good cries. Why did I say yes to the business? Because we have a business and we're around a lot of people all the time. And of course, my husband always wants a good deal. So that makes sense if I'm going to take it. And I originally just got it for the girls to take. And then she told me about the free shoes. And I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. So that's what I did that for. And then the business I figured I don't have to order product. So that was good. And it's so cheap to sign up. So if I could sell a few people doing trios, and why not? So that's what my original goal was. And I thought it was good for me. Fine. It's great, you know, but after going to conference and seeing all the health studies and seeing how much it is amazing for you and everybody's changes in their health, that's huge. And I just feel like, okay, well, we need to share it with people because of the world as it is and the toxicities out there. So I just feel like, why keep it to myself? It'll be so organic, you know, sharing it if I believe in it. You know what I mean? That's huge for me to be able to believe in something. So I think that's going to be the difference in my other ventures, that I really believe in the product. And it won't be like me trying to sell you anything. It's just whatever your health is worth, please, you know, ask yourself what it's worth. And people like my mother-in-law, who spends $400 a month on prescriptions, still thinks it's too expensive, but eventually maybe she'll come around. I'm not going to jam it down her throat, but it's so vital to her health. I mean, she can't even get a cold without going into hospital. Almost 2 months ago, almost dying because of pneumonia and a cold. So, I mean, I'm trying to get it into her, but. And then what changed after the conference, I was listening to your thing, Carmen. Just my excitement, and I'm very excited to share it. I'm excited to have events. My husband said he's going to make time, you know, for like on the Friday nights and Saturday nights or Sunday afternoons. You know, those will be my time to go and do my thing. And so he's all for me, you know, doing something for myself, building my confidence, and building a business, you know, to kind of, you know, balance out our income. And eventually, we're just talking today. Actually, he said, you know, once we figure it out with the different things, you know, get him out of the gym, then we'll be able to travel and do all these things. Just like, what's her name that was there? I can't remember her name. But she was inspiring to talk to. Can't remember her name. She had the great legs. You know who I'm talking about, Jessica. Anyway, that's my take on it. I'm excited to have our first event. I want to, you know, reach out to a couple people and see who will have them. Plus, we can have them on our gym. I know that. I don't know what. Yes, Michelle. Right. And that's all. But very excited, and yay.
I just want to mention really quick something that's authentic to Andrea was the spiritual aspect, I think, too. Something that really hit home for her was to see how she feels that God is moving in all of this and how wonderful the company is, just that culture. So I thought I would just share that too, because I know that a lot of our conversation wrapped around that.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up again. I just felt like I don't know how other people believe, so I didn't want to.
That's okay, but that's what's authentic for you. It doesn't matter what everybody else feels. That's my opinion anyway.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right, Kelly, we want to hear from you.
Hi, everyone. You know, so my husband and I, we decided to go into Juice Plus about a little over a year ago. And for me, I've kind of become a skeptic, you know, just because of just all the choices that are out there. It's kind of mind-boggling. So really what really got me was the research. We had some specific things that we needed help with. My husband has been struggling with high blood pressure and high cholesterol. My son, we recently, at that point anyway, had found out that he couldn't be on medication for sorry, I'm outside. My kids are kind of noisy inside right now, so I tried to find the quietest spot. Anyway, so at that point we found out that he couldn't be on medications for his ADHD because they were having a negative effect on his heart. And there were some other just really scary things. And so he was struggling a lot with that, you know, it was affecting his school. So I had already kind of begun to try to manage that through his diet. And my son is unfortunately extremely picky eater, so I just knew that he wasn't getting everything that he needed. And so, you know, and then I was actually pregnant at the time too. So it was the research that really got to me. And so after I really delved into that, and I just really started to see that the product was really effective. And so for me, that is kind of what made it make sense to me. And we've had just amazing successes with that. My husband was being seen by a doctor like every 4 months, and they were drawing his blood and keeping close tabs on that. And right before he started Juice Plus, there was talk about upping his medications, his doses. And that was, you know, I am generally, if against pharmaceuticals anyway, if it can be helped. And so, you know, that was really like the push for me to like start Juice Plus right away with them. And so I'm happy to report that he actually, all of his levels they're like back in the normal range again. And so that was really huge because he was really trying with diet and everything. He cut out dairy, he cut out red meat, you know, all that stuff. He's really active anyway. And so he wasn't necessarily increasing his activity or anything. I mean, really the one piece, the only thing we really incorporated was the Juice Plus. So, I mean, you know, when that happened, it was like, for me, it was like right there on paper. It was like, because blood tests don't lie, you know, so that really kind of solidified my belief in the product. And then my very picky eater son, who literally, when we had even like nutrition therapists for him for a while when he was little, he was kind of on that, like, if it's not white, brown, bland, or, you know, crunchy, he's not going to touch it, you know. And he also kind of had a bad attitude about, you know, eating healthy. And so we had started him on that as well, on Juice Plus. And, you know, the change in him, his attitude has just changed completely. He's like, it's so funny because, you know, he talks about how he brings it up all the time. You know, we'll be cuddling at night and he'll just be talking about how he feels so sad for, you know, kids to come to school with unhealthy lunches. He eats broccoli now and pretty much every fruit and green beans and everything else that he would not touch before. They had like a school project where they had to give a speech in front of his school, and they could choose it. The topic was, what would you do if you were president of the United States? And it was cute. You know, he's in 3rd grade. But they could pretty much choose anything they wanted, but he was struggling for a while. And then one night at the dinner table, he was just kind of, you know, passionately talking about, you know, how gross he thought school lunches were and how unhealthy they were and how they're microwaved and, you know, and I mean, he was just like really getting worked up about it. And then it just kind of like dawned on him, like, that's what I'm going to talk about. So I had the privilege of being able to watch that. And, he made a visual aid, and his teacher reported that, like, in all of her years of teaching, no kid had ever actually made a visual, like a handout. And so he made this handout of, you know, he made this visual aid of how, like the lunch a healthy lunch, something that he frequently brings to school. And then he said something like, you might not like this, but there are a lot of other healthy options. And so he made this like handout
where he had all these different categories, food. So he had his protein, and he had his fruits, his vegetables, his whole grains, and then he had his whole list of options. And at the bottom, he said, circle the ones you like and bring it home to your parents. Your mom can help you pack them too. This is not kid. So, so his whole attitude just completely changed, which I think, we still have a ways to go. We're still kind of working on getting a lot of his, foods that he really, really likes kind of out of his diet, like processed foods. We're working on it. But attitude, the attitude piece, you can do anything with a good attitude. So that was huge. And then, as far as the business goes, I'm a stay-at-home mom. So, of course, it just made sense to me as a way to just make an extra income. I really liked that. I didn't question the product at all because I really delved into the research on it. It was huge for me because, like I said, there's just so many mixed messages everywhere. So for me, I just, I picked apart the research. And so I didn't have any questions whatsoever on the product. But as far as the marketing plan, I really liked that there was no quotas, no inventory, no minimums. And so, it just, I couldn't find a reason, not to. That made sense. But I just, for conference, like Jess was saying, it did seem like it was a huge hurdle for me to go because I don't necessarily have a lot of, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so we don't have like a regular babysitter. There's not a lot of family here, and my husband works long hours, and it was just hard with the 3 kids. But I just feel like, God just made a way where there didn't seem to be one, and I kept getting encouragement from Jess and from April, and I really felt supported, and they were really helping me kind of make that happen. And I don't think that it could have happened without them. So I quickly realized how important it was for me to be there. The one piece that was kind of missing for me prior to conference was just, I got the product. I got the marketing plan, but I didn't really know, I hope that's not too loud. I didn't really know much about the company itself. And that was important to me, and probably something that was kind of holding me back, I think, and as far as actually doing more with the business part. And so, because honestly, for me, I just feel like if I'm going to represent a company, the company really does represent me as well, and so that piece was really important. And I just didn't know much about that because I'd never been to a conference before. But just being there in that atmosphere, I really got to know like the culture, which was just amazing. There was, I think there was thousands of people. I know there was 3,000 people at the prayer breakfast alone. So I heard something like there was 8,000 people. So in that huge conference where there's just so many people, it still felt intimate. Everybody was just so, I don't know, just passionate and authentic and real and down to earth. And I couldn't even go to the bathroom without exchanging information or phone numbers. I think I walked out of there having made so many new friends, standing in line, getting coffee. Everybody was just so amazing. And I mean, I was just in this group of just amazing people. It just felt like a big family, you know. And here, this company is filled with all these amazing people. When I left, I had no questions anymore about the integrity of the company, and I think that really helped my confidence, as far as what I needed to kind of move forward. So since I've been home now for about a week, and sorry, and all the NMD stories, I mean, just I kind of struggle with, I'm kind of a little bit of an introvert, and struggle with self-confidence. And so when I see these really successful people, you know, you read about them in magazines, or you watch their, you know, little video clips on the computer, and you just think like they have something that you don't have. You know, here are these people, and like they're this certain way, and I'm not that way. But hearing speech after speech after speech, you know, there's so many people that sit up there on stage, and there were so many things that they said that spoke so intimately to my personality. It just resonated. So it's like, hey, like I think that, or that's me right now, you know? And so it made me realize, like, these are not magical people with superpowers. Like, they're just like me. Like, they just are, there's nothing different between like them and me, other than, you know, following a system which is laid out for us. So I walked away thinking, gosh, like I really felt like I could do this. So, and then just that belief in the company was reinforced. So when I came home, you know, I just felt different. I just felt excited. And, you know, so since being home in the last week, you know, I've talked to about 5 people about Juice Plus, and there's 6 in the process right now. And I have one event actually scheduled on the books. Yes, I got to talk to you about that. And then I have two more in the making. And, you know, and it's been a busy week. So I know that I'm going to do more, but that is so much more than I had been doing. So, and I just feel that desire, you know, that I don't know how else to describe it. It's just, there's like this feeling that I just want to like, I'm identifying people every single day that I feel could benefit from Juice Plus. I almost feel sad that they're not doing it, you know, or taking it. And I just feel like I'm all of a sudden, I'm like, a veil has been lifted, and I'm seeing all these things that I'm like, gosh, you know, I know, like, I can help you. And, you know, and so I just feel like this drive that I didn't have before that I really needed. And so that's what conference really did for me.
Oh my gosh, I pulled so much out of what you guys just shared. And I just have to say, you know, what I heard is that, first of all, you guys had a clear picture of what you wanted to do, where you wanted to go. You know, I think Jessica's picture. Jessica started the picture of you guys coming to conference, and she really, you know, help you guys to really overcome some obstacles and things like that, which is ultimately what got you to conference. And you guys, that is the thing about conference, is that, you know, when you get there and you experience it, you know, things will change for you. And it's not even that, it's not even necessarily the information that you're hearing. Of course, that has a lot to do with it. Like they shared, you know, there's training, they get to hear the NMD stories, but it's the understanding of the fact that we are in the right place at the right time with the right company, and just wanting to be part of it. So, you know, and then that awareness, you know, that comes from, once your belief is built, of course, you're going to be more aware of people that are in your orbit that you can help and that you can affect. And then goes from, you know, having the awareness of who's there to actually starting that conversation and sharing with them. So anyways, thank you guys so much. I wanted to give you a couple of reminders. First of all, check our pinned post, because there are some events there that I don't know if you guys know about. There's a Spanish language One Simple Change event coming up this month, which I'm really excited about for some of the Spanish speakers in our life or on our team. So that is coming up. And then, of course, Dr. Valerie Miles, Healthy Living Revolution webinar is fantastic. So definitely watch that. And I want to encourage you guys to head on over to missiondrivenmodel.info if you haven't yet and check it out because it is new. Julie has totally simplified it. It's awesome. I forwarded over Voxer just a short webinar that kind of goes through, it's like a tutorial of what the changes are. So if you haven't watched that, you don't have to. You can just go to missiondrivenmodel.info and check it out for yourself. So thank you, everyone. And now we should hop on over to the Campbell team call. All right. All right. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you, Carmen. Bye.
Bye.